Hey, what is up everybody? Blades for here and today for you guys another video of Persona 5X. So today's video guys, we're going to be going over the best personas for Wonder here, and this is going to be a couple of them. Now of course it shouldn't be like all of them. There are definitely a bunch more personas that are very much so worth it, but I'm mainly going to be going over the ones that he utilizes the most and that are usually for some of these main teams. So if you guys are interested in this, be sure to sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. As always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It really does help me out quite a lot. We're nearing 4K subscribers, and boy, y'all have been freaking doing amazing. So thank y'all as always for all the support, and maybe today we should also be streaming, so look out for that. Before we get into the video as well, if you guys want to join into at least my community as well, be sure to check down below in the description. There should be a Discord link called Gotcha Metaverse. That one right there is my Discord, in which I'll be covering anything P5X related, whether it's global, PW, KR, CN, you name it, we're keeping it, at least keeping you guys updated as much as possible. But let's get into the video. So personas for this man of Wonder. He has a lot of things that you really are going to be utilizing for him, because Wonder is one of the few characters, just like how Joker was, where you use certain personas and it was just like a wild card. He's pretty much a wild card as well. He can use any 3 personas in his arsenal at this point in time, in which these personas can range from just all the way level 1 to level 99. All these personas that he does have will have their own specific uses, but there are a few that definitely are more used than others. Now I'm gonna probably start from a certain way here, but the very best one is definitely going to be the last persona that I'm going to go over here, at least very best in my opinion for it. So look out for that one. But first persona that we're going to actually be going over is going to actually be our man Cert. Now Cert is one of the few personas that you're definitely going to be utilizing quite a lot. Let's see if I can find him right here. There he is. That you're going to be using quite a lot. This persona itself is really helpful whenever you do need a defense decrease that is mainly meant for AoE. It's mainly coming from the Marukunda that he does have here, and this is actually really good no matter what, especially when you're facing a lot of like bosses that need that AoE type deal. Of course, you do have his passive up here, which is this one here. This helps out at least with your effect hit rate, and then of course you have 50% chance of inflicting a burn. So you're not really going to utilize this too much. So his main ordeal, or at least the main thing that you're going to be utilizing him for, is going to be that AoE debuff. Now he's one of the personas that you can build early, in which he really poses himself very good. He's very nice to get, and if I'm correct, you don't even have to fuse him. I'm pretty sure he's one of the personas that you can actually just go ahead and get just by doing one of these little matchups. Yes, which is the what's it called, 6th one that you can go ahead and do. You will unlock this one. Of course, he does have a pity to him, so if you don't get him after 3 whole runs, you will get him guaranteed. But being honest, this one should be a little bit easier than the other ones to actually get to drop. So he's definitely a really good persona. Definitely use him for at least the AoE debuffing, and I think that's going to be the first one no matter what. That's just done and done. So the next one that we're going to be covering here, this persona is actually rather new and recently came to the shop, so some people are still getting their hands on it, and it's obtained from the SOS type shop here. This is Sarosha is how I usually pronounce it. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing it right, but every now and again of course I might get it wrong. And Sarosha is a little bit different here. This is a blessed persona here, in which this one is mainly used for Kazumi's team here. The main reasoning for this is because the boosting of highlights that it can do, as well when the battle starts with its passive here, you're able to get 2 God's Ear. Now what this does is it goes up to like a max of 3, but when teammates ever use their like highlights here, you'll gain a God Ear here, and each time you have these God Ears, you're actually able to deal way more damage, which is always good. This is what we really want, especially when it does come down to the passive. I unfortunately do not have this upgraded fully just yet, so I don't have the max amount for at least for it at least. And this is also helping out your attack power, so no matter what you're doing here, you're getting a lot of attack power here. You're doing everything you can, and then of course when you do use your first skill, it increases your blessed damage taken, or at least the enemy's blessed damage taken, by 4% for each God's Ear. Now usually, as you can see, if you have multiple God's Ear here, you're gonna see exactly what happens. You're gonna see that damage increase, and then also will be decreasing defense if you do have one dupe on at least this persona as well. no matter what, this is actually a really good persona as well. You're usually only going to be using it just for its first skill, and then every now and again you're going to use this highlight as well, because this highlight is helpful for increasing blast damage as well before like setting up Kazumi. So I mean, like, this is definitely a really good persona, but you do have to figure out when you want to use it, and literally mainly just for her team that you're really going to use it. But it's definitely really powerful. If you want to know where to get this one here, you gotta get it from at least the what is it called, you gotta get it from the exchange shop being, let me find it here. I'm over here looking around in the wrong little section. You gotta get it from the exchange shop with the personas, which should be this one right here, and it does cost the gold coins. Now if you don't know exactly where to get these gold coins here, these are from mainly Sea of Souls or SOS here, in which all you need to do, of course, is go do SOS, and at the end of the 2-week span you will be able to actually have what you need to do to actually exchange this guy out. Now anyone in SOS can get these coins, so let me go ahead and go in here real quick so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. But if we press this little gift box right here, and actually no, it's the star, press the little star right here, you can see that I get a certain amount of coins. You need 400 to exchange this one out here, which as you can see at the bottom barrel of at least the rank 8 star, I get 500. If I'm in the rank 7, I get 400 at the bottom barrel. If I'm in rank 6, you get 325, and then any higher, of course, you get some more. Rank 5, it goes lower and lower. Most free to plays are at 6 and 7, so usually these shouldn't be that hard to get, especially when it comes down to at least exchanging one persona out every week, or no, every 2 weeks. So that shouldn't really be too hard to get. So if you are in rank 8, you are gonna at least be able to get the persona and have a little bit extra coins laying around. But that persona is really good. I would definitely suggest you guys going ahead and investing into it. It's really good. I don't really want you guys to miss that one too much. But the next one that we're going to be going over is Shiva. Now, for some of my Haru enjoyers out there, this is the main time I use Shiva. Other than that, we don't really utilize Shiva too much, or I don't utilize Shiva too much. That's mainly because Shiva is only meant for like the Haru team for the most part. As you can see, I don't have any dupes on them, but pretty much this is a Haru team specially type persona here, in which every round she will actually end up getting 1 intelligence. Now this goes up by at least 3, or at least maxes out at 3, but whenever we use her first skill, it will use all of the intelligence stacks that she does have, and then this will actually make the attack increase 3x, or at least 3x percentage times the at least intelligence that you do have. So 2 intelligence will make the enemy's defense decrease by 30%. 3 intelligence will make the enemy have higher chance of crit by an attack, or at least a psychic attack. So as I did say, 1 intelligence will only help you out with 3%. So just keep that to your head. Make sure you don't like get those confused a little bit too much. The more intelligence to have, the more, of course, different things you'll do. So you guys can kind of see, it kind of does tell you a little bit here, so you actually can see exactly what it's offering. But all in all, you really won't use this little persona too much here. The only thing I really do utilize on this persona is its skill 1. Everything else was kind of just there. I think I put Speedmaster on this persona as well, so I think that's like the only thing I really did to it. I haven't really done a optimized build for it. There hasn't been a real time that I've needed to use Shiva, other than when I'm utilizing Haru. So I mean, like, I don't use them too much, but they still are a really good persona. Now, if you wanted to exchange this persona out yourself, it would be the same way that we actually were talking about the last persona, which was Sorosha. You go to the persona little area here, make sure you have enough gold coins, in which it would be right here, Shiva right here. And this one also costs 400. Now, not all personas cost 400. As you can see, there's one for Lilith being 300, Bishamon 300, and then of course we have this one 200, and then there's a couple of them that are back here just 300, right? They're not always going to be in the 400s, but that one is just as expensive as the last one, so do surely keep that in mind. But still a good persona nonetheless, and you think you guys should invest into that one as well. The next Elite persona that I'm going to be going over is one of my actually favorites, and ones that I kind of come into using a little bit, or at least in that medium area, and that is King Frost. Now, King Frost was one of the first little personas that got introduced, especially when it came down to the gold coins here. And I maxed the guy out. He's really good. He's really helpful for sustainability. and I don't even think I have the right full like hit on him, but he definitely gets the job done. So for King Frost here, this is mainly going to be for Fox team. You're not really going to use him for anything else here. It's mainly for Fox because he's boosting up their defense as much as possible, and that makes the Fox team even more tanky, give them more sustainability, and help out their defense percentages so they can deal more damage. But he gives extra defense, and when applying a shield to teammates, it will then increase their defense by 12% and ice damage by 10%. Now the ice damage is at A2, of course, so you do want to make sure you're getting that extra little dupe here, and which getting these isn't really that hard. As you can see, you got this here, get the ice damage bonus by 10% for 2 turns, and as you're slowly going up, you're seeing those percentages go up here, with the defense percentage finally going up, stuff like that. That is what you really want to get, is the defense percentage, and that is what you really want to look for. Now some of these are of course with A2, A1, but really even if you have no dupes on these personas, they still do immensely good because you still have the whole passive there. You just don't have the percentage being as high as it should be, or as high as most likely wanted. Now, without a doubt, is this persona freaking worth it? Heck yes. If you are using anything that is sustainability, whether it's Fox team with Mont, Fox team with what's his name, Cherish, the Fox team with Yuki, you're definitely going to be utilizing this persona. It's really good. Mont is probably the only one that's kind of shakeable that you don't have to use him with, but he's still really powerful. So definitely another persona that is really good that you guys could very well use. Next persona that we're going to go ahead and go over is Alice. Now Alice is one of the final in-game little personas that you can actually craft and actually get from the what is it called, the Velvet Room here. And I think it's the first one I ended up making because I thought she was going to be crazy busted. Well, she is broken, but she wasn't as busted as in the game, which I wanted to see if that would happen. But still, we progress for this here. We digress. But anyways, going with Alice, absolutely amazing persona. She is a curse persona as usual here, and this one actually increases curse damage to enemies, and this is making them take more curse damage by 18%, which is crazy, especially if you have it max duped. So max dupe gives you all the curse damage taken that you need, as well as some extra little stats that you really want to have, especially if you're doing for those extra huge type of damages here. But pretty much you only want this with Joker or just anyone who's usually being the main head of a curse team. Joker is currently our only main head of a curse team currently. Once we get another, like, definitely a main DPS curse unit, you'll definitely be using her as well with this, but she mainly is just making sure that the enemies are taking more curse damage. Sweet, simple, easy as that. Really good persona. This without a doubt is a really good persona, and you can craft them, so you're mainly going to be crafting them. They are a little bit of a later game persona here, so you will need to craft quite a lot. Okay, you will need this the persona a lot of little materials for it, but luckily you don't have to really change too much on them. I still pretty much have her basic stuff. Like, I think she came with everything like this already. Name is Abyssal Wing. I think the only thing I've changed was Rebellion. Yeah, pretty positive Demonic Decree was on here, or either Curse Boost was on here, something like that was on here, one of the freaking two. And actually I'm gonna put probably Curse Boost back on here or something like that. But all of this is really just really good for this character, for this persona in general. You don't have to change much on her, and she is absolutely insane when it comes down to her usability. But going into our next persona that we're going to look at is going to be the other one that's actually craftable here, and that is Dominion. Now Dominion is another one that is absolutely amazing. You don't have to really change much on them as well. They come pretty goddamn buffed and stacked as you would expect them to be honest. And I'm really loving that because this is another persona that you're going to use quite a lot. That's going to be very helpful, especially when it comes down to at least anything you need here. But Dominion's main specialty is going to be that first skill here. The first skill is really helping out the overall attack that you do need. And really the main deal for this persona is just being a good buffer. Now, you can very well use it as a debuffer too, but it's going to be really wise to just use it as a buffer and pair it with S Closer. The reason why you pair it with S Closer is, of course, this is mainly meant for a blessed based team. This first skill here is really helpful, seeing it buffs you majorly, or at least whoever needs it here. This is like a crazy stinking buff for anyone on S-Closure's team, any DPS to be honest, because it's just a huge buff. It's a huge attack buff that's really, really nice to have. And then if you do need to use the highlight, you're really getting yourself what you need, which is inflicting the blessed damage on one person, increasing damage for that entire time, which is actually kind of nice. But you're mainly just going to be just using it just for debuffs. Now I do have a debuff on him, or at least on Dominion here, so you can very well use debuff moves. I don't think I have any other crazy moves that it has learned. So for the most part, you only just need those two. That's it. Pretty easy, pretty simple. That's all. Now when it comes to our next persona that we're going to be going over here, this is actually going to be our base persona, being at least Janosik. Now Janosik is probably the best debuffer in the game here for the most part, and that has a few reasonings for this. Okay, it's not only just because of what you can really teach it, in which you're going to be teaching a lot of debuff moves anyways here, but it's also really good just because of the aim that it does have on it here. Now aim itself is allowing us to additionally decrease defense, which this is actually at max dupe, so of course do know that the percentages are a little bit different here, but aim helps us out with at least taking down the defense, which is really, really good here, while also helping out our own attack. So it's kind of like a buffer and a debuffer persona, in which you can utilize it as both. Think of it as kind of a budget Dionysus with an extra spin on it, right? So you will be utilizing it for the extra attack that you're getting, but you're also going to be utilizing it for some defensive properties as well. Dionysus is kind of the same, but kind of does this way better in most methods, in all methods to be honest. In which for this one, you get your 15.5% attack, of course, on the target that you use a skill on when it is maxed out. That's all you really got to think about here. Really, really helpful. Really, oh wait, sorry, I'm thinking of the next one, which is the next one that we're going to be going over here. Sorry, you get the 20% attack increase from the aim, and then of course the 12% attack, or at least aim decrease. So really helpful, really nice, really amazing. Definitely suggest using this persona. You're really not gonna toss this one out anytime soon. Like that's how good they are. This is probably a persona that's always in the team, if not a option to put in the team. But going to our next persona here, this one is Jikokuten. Now Jikokuten is another persona that me myself, I don't use all too often, but it is very helpful. Now Jikokuten itself is actually really, really good though. It's nothing too bad here. And this one is like a budget Dionysus. This is the actual budget Dionysus. The reason why I say this one here is because you're mainly going to be using this for attack increase. It's all you're going to use it for, nothing else, nothing less, nothing more. It's literally just, that's it. Like, right, you're not using anything like that, nothing too crazy with it. It's pretty darn good. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's pretty good. It's just gonna help you out with the attack side of things. It's not really gonna help you out with any crit, but it's one of those flexible type of personas for the most part. You don't really have to boost anything as well. You're actually just helping out yourself when it does come down to what's it called? You're mainly just helping out yourself when it comes down to survivability. So you don't have to do anything too crazy when it does come down to that. And that's the good part about it. That is the actual good part about it, because if you did have to heavily invest into this persona, that's where things would get a little bit problematic. But the lucky part is this persona is really easy to get. It's really early on. I can't remember if I have to fuse this one, or if you can just go ahead and what's it called, or if you could just go ahead and just make this one regularly. So I do have to remember that one, but I'm unsure. I'm very unsure for this one. So pretty sure this one's good. You don't have to really do much to it. It's really awesome, really nice, and that's all I got to say about it. There's nothing much about that guy. He's actually kind of just simple. Now the next one, of course, that we're going to be going into is Dionysus. Now Dionysus is one of the best ones, if not one of the best buffers here, and without a doubt, it's absolutely amazing. Okay, so this helps you out with crit rate, crit damage. There's a reason that you want to have this persona. No matter what, you're getting help from anything. You can't use it as a debuffer as well, which is why I do have Rakundo on here, but your main like aces in the hole are going to be Revolution and Rebellion. Having both of these on this one persona is so freaking helpful, and it's going to be like your main bread and butter when it comes down to just needing crits, needing crit damage, you name it. All of it you're going to have. course, you do have its passives, which is passive is also helping you out in crit rate and crit damage. And this is for all allies, not just one person, just all allies. And it's absolutely amazing. This is really what you're going to be utilizing for. You can, of course, utilize it for debuffing. You can use a buffing skill on here, but your main thing is just using it for crit rate, crit damage. If you're not using it for crit rate, crit damage, or even just a little bit of debuffing, you might be running it wrong and you might need to change up your kit. But without a doubt, this is the best persona here. To get this one here, you don't need to get it from a shop or anything like that. Like, you can exchange it out if you wanted to, if you had the coins for it, but you normally are just going to end up farming this guy, in which we go to the, yeah, here it is, number 7, or at least the personas. And as you can see right here, it's a gold persona as always, and you just need to hit a certain pity level for it. This one is 8 pity. So of course, if you don't get it after 8 like runs, it will give it to you guaranteed, and that will help you out. Though do keep in mind, you can't get it before the 8 pity. So that's always nice, always good to do, and is a really good persona nonetheless. Now, the last 2 personas that we're going to be going over, Norn here being the first one. Now, Norn is absolutely amazing. Oh wait, last 3. I don't know why I didn't add this one in. I should have added this one in as well. But last 3 personas, we have Norn. Norn is another good persona here, in which is technically a budget Vishnu, which is the next one we're going to be going over here, aka the best persona in my at least my belief. But same reason for Vishnu for that you're going to be utilizing this is actually lowering the chances of hitting winded, or at least helping out hitting winded a little bit here, but just with lower chances. Vishnu has higher chances and is way better for this, but you know, Norn still gets the job done. Now, this only increases enemies defense by 31.5% when max duped, but it is really good for survival because you can give yourself some extra defense, and this extra defense is going to come from its signature move, Wind Barrier. Pretty much you can put up this shield here equal to 19.5% of your attack, and this is going to go for 2 whole turns. If the actually but the enemy does actually have a hits this shield here and allies have a shield, it actually does have a chance for what's it called, giving winded to the enemy, which is really helpful. All in all, you're really going to be utilizing this for like some defensive properties. You can use it to proc some winded type things, but you're not going to be utilizing it all too much when it does come down to this, which is really helpful. But see, gives you some defensive properties, which is properties which are really good here, while also decreasing the defense of enemies if they do hit it and proc that percentage. All in all, this is a really good one. This is another one that you, instead of actually just I think you can exchange. No, I think this is a craftable, if I remember correct. So let's go into the Velvet room real quick, and I want to show you guys exactly how to craft this guy. Now, this one unlocks a little bit later. It's kind of in that mid-game type area where you're going to unlock Norn. And as you can see here, you're gonna need yourself a Cerberus mark, you're gonna need a Red Rider mark, and you're gonna need a lot of these dudes right here. So this is technically what they're made out of, especially with the other ones that I just went over, and then you'll be able to craft it. Definitely want to max him out because Norn is still very helpful, especially for those who don't have Vishnu. And even if you do have Vishnu, every now and again Norn does fit its way into a team, so you still want to utilize it and still have it there just in case you need to change it out. Now, the next one, I forgot to put this one on the list, and I don't know how I forgot it, because before we go over Vishnu, I wanted to add it here. That is going to be Yoshitsune. Now, Yoshitsune here is one of those personas that is very niche. It's mainly just meant to make Wonder a DPS for the most part, and you only use it for certain guild bosses. As much as it has its niche statements here, and I don't really have it built here, as much as it has those niche statements, this is still a really good persona. It helps out with your crit damage, helps out with your attack. You're always gonna love at least the crit rate that you get. You're gonna love the goddamn what is it called here? I know there was one more that I was missing out, and I just forgot about it. I think it. Well, you get the picture. It just makes you a really good DPSer. This persona is only gonna be used when you're doing like specific things with Wonder, and I gotta say, it's an absolute goated persona. I don't understand why I forgot it. I don't know how I forgot it. It's amazing for at least AoE damage, and yes, you do have to exchange this one, unfortunately, seeing that this one was also one of the first few that got added. I want to say maybe the 4th or 3rd one. I can't remember exactly the order, but you do have to exchange this one out as well. It is for 400 what's it called, 400 of these gold guys here. So where are you? Where'd he go? In a minute, there it is, 400 of these gold guys, and then you'll be able to have it. So without a doubt, absolutely amazing persona. It just has a very niche area. Still, I do recommend it for most people. Now, the last persona that is probably the best, and there were some ones that were honorable mentions that I did not add in here, mainly because of they're very niche with not only just the characters, but also even the characters themselves every now and again doesn't use them. And that is going to be, of course, this one, and this is specifically Chernobog for Mesas. I really do love Chernobog a lot. He's really good. I use him quite a lot, but every now and again you technically do not need to use them. Another good persona that I left out was Narcissus. Narcissus is absolutely amazing. I left out Pazuzu, and I also left out the little dragon boy right here. These are all really good personas, but they're for niche little moments here. Be honest, Pazuzu is only used if you're doing DOT. You're only used for at least the electric bonuses, which of course you can do that with a couple characters. Narcissus is used on winded teams, but every now and again you don't need it there. You can just go ahead and use Vishnu. And then of course with who else did I say? Oh yeah, Chernobog, as I did say, you don't always use them for at least debuff that are used for Mesa's team or just used in general. So those are some honorable mentions, but I'm pretty sure I left out a few others that just weren't thinking about in my head here. But all in all, going over the last persona that I really do recommend is Vishnu. Now Vishnu is absolutely amazing. This is the best persona to me, especially when it comes down to just any in-game content, because you're really gonna love to use them for at least the defensive down that it gives with its winded. So if you max dupe this guy, every time you hit a winded effect, it will then decrease the defense of the enemy by 48% for 2 whole rounds. This is actually insane. This is amazing to see that you're able to do this with this persona, and holy crap, you don't even need that much to actually change on this guy. Like, you can keep the silent wind on him. You can use Margaro 9. Both of these are absolutely amazing for this persona as well. And that's it. You don't have to change much. This persona is so freaking powerful. Though the only downside about it is also an exchangeable that you have to get from SOS. So you gotta do Sea of Souls if you do want to get these gold coins, and then you gotta exchange these guys out here. Takes, I think, yeah, it takes 400 to exchange them out, so it does suck. Overall, you're gonna be spending yourself about 1,200, which does freaking suck. But I'll be honest with you, it is wholeheartedly worth it. This persona, without a doubt, is definitely the best persona in my picture, besides of course Dionysus. But all in all, those are the personas that we went over today. Of course, there's a bunch more that we left out. If anyone can put some of those into the description, or not description, the comment section, because I do know there are a couple like big boy whales down and that usually watch my videos a little bit. Put those in the description, or at least the comment section for me, and I'll definitely be highlighting you guys very soon for that, because I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of personas in this game that are very useful. I was mainly just highlighting the ones that are very useful that I use a lot, as well as that another person that I do know helps me use a lot as well. So without further ado, hopefully you guys enjoyed the long video here today, and hit that like and that subscribe button. Peace out.